That's chemicals, I'm telling you.
I'm seeing documents I don't understand. They're hiding something. That chemical. What if you drank it?
Drank it? It's like saying, what if I swallowed a tire?
What if whatever's killing those cows is in the drinking water?
To be a hero, you're gonna face a lot of opposition, and you're gonna face opposition from everywhere sometimes. That's the real hero's journey. It's great storytelling. You know, the more you can layer in those complexities, the better storytelling it is. The greater an achievement it is when our hero does what he set out to do.
I learned about the story when I received the script. At first I was really fascinated by it, and then that kind of dropped into anger as I realized that it was real, and then a whole bunch of emotions as I realized it was ongoing. You know, I think we've come to expect, particularly in David Goliath stories, we expect to see Goliath fallen at the end, or felled at the end of it. And that's not exactly the case here. The story is more reflective of reality, and this is something that's ongoing. This is something that involves all of us.
The basic story is a lawyer, a corporate defense attorney who defends chemical companies, is approached by a farmer that he knew in his youth who tells him his cows are dying from the runoff of a DuPont landfill. And so this corporate defense attorney decides to get to the bottom of it quickly because he really believes that corporations really are their best owned governors. And so he thinks this must just be some simple oversight. And what ends up happening is he uncovers the greatest contamination and cover-up of contamination in human history.
That would mean going to trial and proving that C8 killed your cows. And every scientist who knows anything about any of this already works for these chemical companies. That's not an accident, Earl. Earl, these companies, they have all the money all the time, and they'll use it, trust me. I know, I was one of them.
You're still one of them.
This story involves our work on a chemical known as PFOA, and how we discovered that this particular chemical was in drinking water out in West Virginia, and what it took to really understand what this chemical was, and how it could be that in the United States we could have a completely unregulated chemical being emitted out into the environment for 50, 60 years. And how even when you acquire information that shows this chemical and its presence in drinking water is a health threat, and what it takes and what it still takes to get that actually addressed in any meaningful way in this country, in the United States.
One of the great things about this film, and one of the unique things about this film, is it's telling the story of what that cost is for the truth teller. It makes it very obvious that so many people looked the other way. So many people were willing to compromise people's lives for their own survival in this corporate culture. Maybe the telling of this story will empower the truth teller.
Why didn't you walk away? Like you had a few, to Rob, like you had a few invitations to walk away. Why have you stayed in this fight? And I think Rob comes back to this thing about it's the right thing to do.
That's what I just find remarkable about him, is he always finds himself up in the middle of these worlds. And it's because of that he's able to, he's not a plaintiff attorney, but he's not a defense attorney anymore. He's a plafence attorney. But he uses everything that he knows and the acumen and the discipline of a defense attorney to approach a plaintiff's case, and that's revolutionary. That's why Rob Bilott was able to bring down one of the biggest corporations in the world, and to also create the biggest health study ever done in the history of mankind, as well as win the biggest class action lawsuit against any corporation in the history of American or world business.
Has anyone even read the evidence this man has collected? The willful negligence, the corruption? Read it. and then tell me we should be sitting on our asses. That's the reason why Americans hate lawyers. This is a crap that fuels the Ralph Naders of the world. We should want to nail DuPont. All of us should.
This stuff is actually out there in the environment, in drinking water, and unfortunately, by this point, has contaminated and poisoned the blood of virtually every person on the planet, every living thing. And so the opportunity to be able to convey that and make people understand what the nature and extent of this public health threat is, I think was a tremendous opportunity. But not only that, to provide it in a way that people could understand not only that this was happening, but how it happens. How does something like this happen in the United States? How could a massive worldwide contamination problem like this not only occur, but originate here in the United States?
There's knowledge in this film. This is an important bit of history for us to know. It's important to know that there's a man named Rob Bilott, and he made us safer. He's a huge reason why the world is a safer place and is becoming a safer place, and he can't do it alone. He's carried this on his back for a really long time.
First of all, I hope they understand that PFOA is pervasive, it's everywhere, and it's forever. It accumulates in us. It makes people very, very sick. Right now, there's 7 scientifically linked diseases and cancers that are directly linked to it and directly linked to the amount of it we might have in our bodies. It is in 99% of all living creatures on the planet. We have been poisoned, and the corporation that's been doing it has known for 40 years it's been doing it, and it has been covering it up. And I want people to know and to be outraged by that.
The system is rigged. They want us to think it'll protect us. We protect us. We do.